In the annals of American folklore, few tales captivate the imagination quite like the mystery of the Beale Ciphers. It is a story woven from the threads of frontier adventure, hidden treasure, and an unbreakable code. The legend begins in the winter of 1820, with the arrival of a mysterious stranger in Lynchburg, Virginia. His name, he said, was Thomas J. Beale, a man of gentlemanly bearing and a quiet, reserved nature. Beale and his companions, a group of 30 adventurers, had journeyed west in search of fortune. Their quest led them to the untamed wilderness of the Spanish territory, a land of rugged mountains and sweeping plains. There, in a stroke of incredible luck, they discovered a mine brimming with gold and silver. For 18 months, the men toiled in secret, amassing a fortune beyond their wildest dreams. The sheer volume of their treasure became a source of great concern, its security a paramount issue. Beale was entrusted with the monumental task of transporting their collective wealth to a secure location back east. He chose Bedford County, Virginia, a place of rolling hills and quiet seclusion, as the treasure's final resting place. In a carefully chosen spot, Beale buried the treasure deep within the earth, hidden from all prying eyes. To ensure its eventual recovery, Beale devised a brilliant and intricate system of ciphers. He created 3 separate coded messages, each holding a different key to the treasure's secrets. In 1822, Beale returned to Lynchburg and sought out a man he deemed trustworthy, an innkeeper named Robert Morris. To Morris, Beale entrusted a heavy, locked iron box, a container of immense importance. Beale explained that the box contained papers of incalculable value, both to himself and to others. He promised to send Morris the key to the ciphers in the mail, but this promised key never arrived. After their meeting, Thomas J. Beale vanished from Lynchburg, never to be seen or heard from again. Years turned into decades, and the iron box remained in Morris's possession, its secrets locked away. Finally, in 1845, 23 years after receiving it, Morris's curiosity overcame his patience. With great effort, he broke the lock and opened the box, revealing its mysterious contents. Inside, he found several sheets of paper covered in a seemingly random assortment of numbers. There were also 2 letters written in plain English, one addressed to Morris himself. The letters provided a tantalizing glimpse into the story behind the ciphers and the treasure they protected. Morris spent the next 20 years of his life attempting to decipher the cryptic messages, but to no avail. The numbers remained a meaningless jumble, their secrets as secure as the day they were written. Before his death, Morris passed the box and its contents to a trusted friend, a man who remains anonymous to this day. This anonymous friend, a man of considerable intellect and perseverance, took up the challenge of the ciphers. He approached the problem with a fresh perspective, trying countless keys and combinations. His breakthrough came when he experimented with the idea of a book cipher, a code based on a specific text. He hypothesized that the key to one of the ciphers might be a commonly available and well-known document. After many failed attempts, he finally tried the United States Declaration of Independence. To his astonishment, the numbers of the second cipher began to align with the words of the historic document. Each number in the cipher corresponded to a word in the Declaration, and the first letter of that word was the key. Slowly, painstakingly, a message began to emerge from the jumble of numbers. Decrypted second cipher revealed a detailed inventory of the buried treasure. It described thousands of pounds of gold and silver, a fortune of staggering proportions. The message also contained a general description of the treasure's location, in Bedford County, near Beaufort's. However, the precise location was contained in the first cipher, which remained stubbornly undeciphered. The third cipher, which supposedly listed the names of Beale's partners and their heirs, also resisted all attempts at decryption. In 1885, the anonymous friend, having exhausted all his efforts, decided to share the mystery with the world. He published a pamphlet containing the entire story, including the letters and all three ciphers. The publication of the Beale Papers ignited a firestorm of public interest and speculation. Treasure hunters, both amateur and professional, descended upon Bedford County, armed with shovels and theories. They scoured the hills and valleys, digging in any spot that seemed to fit the vague clues. Despite countless efforts, no treasure has ever been found, not a single gold coin or silver bar. The failure to find the treasure has led many to question the authenticity of the entire story. Skeptics point to the lack of any historical evidence for the existence of Thomas J. Beale. No census records, no property deeds, no mention of him in any contemporary documents has ever been found. The language used in the letters has also been scrutinized, with some words and phrases seeming anachronistic. Some believe the entire affair was an elaborate hoax, a clever piece of 19th century fiction. The original publisher of the pamphlet, James B. Hart, is a primary suspect in this theory. He sold the pamphlet for 50 cents a copy, a not insignificant sum at the time. Others have suggested a connection to Edgar Allan Poe, a master of cryptography and mystery. However, the timeline of Poe's life and the events of the Beale story do not align perfectly. Despite the doubts and the lack of evidence, the legend of the Beale Ciphers endures. It remains one of America's most compelling unsolved mysteries, a puzzle that has stumped generations. The story continues to inspire books, documentaries, and countless hours of research and speculation. The allure of a hidden fortune and an unbreakable code is a powerful and timeless combination. Perhaps one day, a brilliant cryptographer or a lucky treasure hunter will finally solve the puzzle. Until then, the Beale Ciphers will remain a testament to the enduring power of a good story. The tale of Thomas J. Beale is a ghost story, a whisper of a man who may have never been. His silence across the decades is more profound than any spoken word. Robert Morris, the patient innkeeper, became the unwitting guardian of a national enigma. His life was forever altered by the weight of the iron box and the promise it held. The anonymous friend represents the spirit of intellectual curiosity and relentless pursuit. He tasted success with one cipher, a victory that only deepened the mystery of the other two. The Declaration of Independence, a document of freedom, became a key to a prison of numbers. Each decrypted letter of the second cipher was a breadcrumb leading into a deeper forest. The treasure, described in such meticulous detail, feels both real and entirely illusory. Is it a physical reality waiting in the Virginia soil, or a phantom conjured by ink and paper? The first cipher is the true heart of the mystery, the silent guardian of the final secret. Its unbroken code is a challenge thrown down through the centuries. The third cipher, with its list of names, is a story of forgotten men and lost legacies. 30 adventurers, their hopes and dreams encoded, their descendants unaware of their potential inheritance. The hills of Bedford County hold their breath, keeping the secret safe. Every shovel that breaks the earth is a question asked of the silent ground. The possibility of the hoax looms large, a shadow that touches every part of the tale. If it is a fiction, it is a masterfully crafted one, designed to endure. The story's persistence is, in itself, a kind of treasure. It speaks to the human love of puzzles and the eternal hope of discovery. The Beale Ciphers are more than just a treasure hunt. They are a mirror reflecting our own desires. We see in them the chance for adventure, for wealth, for a moment of brilliant insight. The silence of the ciphers allows us to write our own stories in the spaces between the numbers. Perhaps the true treasure is not the gold and silver, but the mystery itself. The journey west for Beale's party was a leap into the unknown. They were men leaving behind the structured world for a land of raw possibility. The discovery of the mine must have felt like a dream, a moment of pure, unadulterated fortune. The decision to transport the treasure was fraught with peril. Every mile of the journey eastward was a mile closer to safety, and a mile deeper into risk. Beale's choice of Morris was a judgment of character, a bet on a man's integrity. Morris's long wait is a testament to his loyalty and the power of a promise. The act of finally opening the box was a moment of both hope and trepidation. The sight of the numbers must have been a profound disappointment, a puzzle where an answer was expected. The anonymous friend's intellectual journey is a classic detective story. He wrestled with the mind of a man long dead, trying to find the pattern in the chaos. The moment of decryption must have been a jolt of pure intellectual electricity. But the partial success only highlighted the magnitude of the remaining failure. The publication of the pamphlet was an act of surrender and an invitation to the world. The ensuing treasure hunts were a physical manifestation of a shared cultural obsession. Each hole dug in the earth is a testament to the story's persuasive power. The skeptics provide a necessary balance, a voice of reason against the siren song of treasure. The search for historical proof of Beale is a hunt for a ghost in the archives. The anachronisms in the text are like fingerprints left by a careless creator. If it is a hoax, the creator was a student of human nature, knowing what stories we want to believe. The legend has become a piece of the American identity, a story of frontier grit and unsolved puzzles. It is a story that is constantly being rewritten by each new generation of believers and debunkers. The ultimate truth of the Beale Ciphers may be forever lost to time. But the search for that truth, the journey into the mystery, is a reward in itself. The silence from Beale after his departure is a void at the center of the story. Did he meet with misfortune on the trail, his key and his life lost in the wilderness? Or did he simply choose to disappear, to start a new life free from his past? Morris's Inn was a crossroads, a place where countless stories began and ended. The iron box was just one of many secrets that passed through its doors. The patience of Morris is almost superhuman, a quiet act of faith in a fellow man. His decision to pass on the secret was an admission of his own mortality. Anonymous Friend's work was a solitary obsession, a dialogue with a ghost. The Declaration of Independence was a brilliant, lateral-thinking choice of key. The decrypted text is a masterpiece of verisimilitude, detailed and convincing. It gives just enough information to be tantalizing, but not enough to be conclusive. The remaining ciphers are a taunt, a reminder of the limits of our knowledge. Are their keys other documents, or do they use a different system entirely? The 1885 pamphlet was the spark that lit the fuse of a national obsession. It transformed a private mystery into a public spectacle. The Bedford County of today is forever linked to this story of buried gold. The landscape itself has become a character in the drama, a silent keeper of the truth. The theory of a hoax is compelling, but it lacks the romance of the treasure story. It replaces a grand adventure with a petty deception. Yet the evidence for the hoax is, in some ways, stronger than the evidence for the treasure. The story's true author, whether Beale or hoaxer, was a master of their craft. They created a myth that has outlived them by more than a century. The Beale Ciphers have become a permanent fixture in the landscape of American unsolved mysteries. They sit alongside the stories of the Roanoke colony and the disappearance of Amelia Earhart. The mystery is a self-perpetuating machine, fueled by each new attempt to solve it. Perhaps the box was never meant to be fully understood. Its purpose was not to be solved, but to be pondered.